quite a problem with corruption in Alabama. It's no big secret. We just passed some of the toughest ethics legislation in the country based on the fact that we had a very big scandal in recent years up in Jefferson County out of Birmingham. There was kind of boggles the mind how much mismanagement and corruption were. I mean, 26 people were indicted, public officials. So yeah, it's quite a problem. U.Mgy, in fact, is doing a kind of important dissertation on public service ethics and training people to be accountable and responsible. We've had quite a run in recent years of well, it's not just recent years, is it, Brad?
And it's not just Alabama.
It's not, no, definitely not. We got Illinois, we've had considerable problems. It's quite a challenge. If you have any ideas, we're open to listening.
Well, one of the things about the
Как раз таки в этом плане я тоже вопрос хотел задать, какие меры по профилактике проводят. Ясно, что у всех это есть. Пример такой, что у нас полицейских вот с недавнего времени собираются проводить через детекторы лжи. Конечно, это не панацея, всех проблем не решит, но что они, да, какие вот исследования еще, какие ВВ проводят какие-то, какие методы, может быть, тоже.
Well, actually, we were going to ask you what kind of measures you take to prevent corruption, because I want to say that in our country we do some measures, preventative measures, like recently we decided that we will send our policemen through the polygraph test. Of course, this is not going to be a remedy for everything, but at least we're trying to do something. So what is done here to prevent corruption or to stop corruption?
Well, we depend a lot on enforcing the law, so to speak, making ethics violations tougher, sentencing, more scrutiny, things like that. My personal opinion is that that hasn't worked very well.
Yeah, the law is made by people and for people, and if people do not respect the law, then
I know.
One of the things that most states have is, and the national government as well, is some kind of disclosure law by which people who hold office, elected and appointed office, have to list their financial assets, the connections that they have with with people who are doing business with government. If you get a salary of a certain amount, then you have to report your holdings. If you run for office, you have to report contributions. Most states have some kind of ethics commission or ethics organization which collects this information and then can do investigations when people complain about alleged violations. But
one of the things, we've been doing some training of public officials in Alabama through one of our outreach programs. One of the things that we've been focusing on is the quality of relationships in public organizations. That is, that there's some evidence that organizations in which people feel comfortable enough to make mistakes and admit it, organizations where people trust each other, where it's easy to do business in the open, you don't have to hide your mistakes. You can talk about the hard stuff, you can talk about, and you can ask the question, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. And that's a different approach than just the legal approach. That's kind of preventative in a sense. That is, if you can have a healthy organization, one in which people, like I say, feel free to ask the question, I don't know what to do, can you help me? It's more likely that there's less chance of corruption to grow. Corruption often just grows in isolation. When people get isolated from each other, That's what happened in our Jefferson County, was that it was only 4 or 5 people talking to maybe 4 or 5 other people about what was going on, and so it just got very big very fast, and there wasn't anybody watching. Right? But I think, personally, I don't think it's just a matter of making everybody watch what everybody else is doing. It's a kind of watchdog. It's more that develop kind of respectful relationships in your organization, where again, it's safe to make mistakes, but there's also a kind of ethic that you fix them when you make them, and you don't have to shove them under the rug. So much of corruption isn't just the criminals, it's just really bad habits. You know, I've been in situations where what was actually corrupt was a mistake that somebody made 20 years before, and it just got to be how you did business. So that's the way we've always done it. It had nothing to do really with the criminal thing, it was just you didn't fix the mistake when it happened, and sooner or later somebody said that's corruption, that's not how you do business. So it's kind of a complicated thing. If you like, we've written some things on the ethics process, because recently we've been quite involved in that. I'd be glad to send them to you. You just leave me your email address. If that's helpful. Or I can connect you with some resources, because there are a lot of resources that have developed around ethics. It's quite an industry, actually.
The basic point is that if I feel like I can talk to you and ask you a question and explain what I've done and ask for your advice without feeling that you're looking to punish me or find something, you know, even if you're my boss, my superior, if I can go to you and say, I've done this, was that the right thing to do? If I feel that I can have an honest conversation, like Linda was saying, then you're going to have a more honest organization than if people are running around scared, afraid that they're going to be zinged about something, you know, that somebody's looking to find something wrong.
That's it's a lot about learning, you know, because it's not, most people know right from wrong, but human relationships are very complex. And how you act on what's right sometimes isn't always clear. You know, how do I do that? And people don't necessarily just automatically know that, but it does help. And it helps the organization become stronger ethically over time if you can talk about the hard stuff, right? Because the more you do that, the better you get at it.
Most people don't start out corrupt. They do a little something that's borderline, and then they do a little bit more something that's borderline, and now they've done it and they're afraid to admit it, and so they do a little something else, and it just gradually gets to be a huge problem.
Yes, exactly. Some of the problem too is that sometimes criminals happen, as I say, is there's nothing the organization has done, you just get a crook in there, and how that's handled is to pay attention again to the well-being of your culture. It's not let the crook destroy the culture. You've got a basically healthy culture, very ethical, people are honest, they can talk to each other, and then the bad guy, you know, shows up. The key thing is to protect that culture so much, not just adapt to the crook. What I like to say is that we need to focus on what we want the agencies to be, not necessarily just on what the crook is doing. If we want to be accountable and transparent, then that's what we be. That's what we are. That's what we are. Yeah, it's a hard problem with this worldwide. It's kind of learning. It's about learning.
У нас в стране есть закон, который регулирует коррупцию, называется закон о коррупции в Республике Казахстан. А вот есть...
There is a law, the law about the corruption in the Republic of Kazakhstan. It's like a federal law. Is there something...
О борьбе с коррупцией.
It's to fight corruption. It's called the law to fight corruption, or about the fight. So, is there any national federal law here on the fight to fight corruption?
Yes.
Can I just jump in?
Yes.
Can I add the corruption that Eastern Europe and Kazakhstan also